Hi, Boons, it's ZaciRoo, and welcome to another episode of the Stay True and Stay You podcast. This episode of the podcast, we are going to be talking to Lil Kink Boutique, and they're going to be telling you all about their wonderful family-owned and operated business, and it's been in business now for a good handful of years. I personally have known the owners of Lil Kink Boutique going on for nearly 10 years. They are absolutely fantastic people, and I'm really happy to be able to rehash this for them and let them have the floor, if you will, and talk to them and ask them questions about their business and how it's been going the last few years and how it got started and how they moved into their new building and all that. And it's just really, really excited. Of course, you know, I do have a coupon code, ZaciRoo. If you use that, that will save you at checkout. Be sure and use that. That way Misty knows that after all these years, I am still doing my job. And she knows that my coupon code will remain the undisputed most used coupon code in Lil Kink Boutique history. So please use that. I honestly get nothing from it other than just a little stipend here every once in a while for free products that I get to use in order to tell you guys how awesome they are. So it's a constant reviving circle of, hey, this is cool, and it's even cooler. So it's just a revolving door of amazingness. So be sure and check them out. Links to their website in the description box below. Before we go on, and get on to our interview with Lil Kink Boutique, please consider subscribing and, of course, supporting this podcast on Subscribestar. Your funds will greatly help factor in and help the podcast grow. And, of course, I would like to do more personal things with people and do more in-person interviews, and that requires more equipment than the equipment that I have on hand. And it's actually really exciting because I have a handful of guests I have lined up that are actually local, and having some additional microphones and equipment would be absolutely stellar. So if you want to support this podcast and keep the equipment rolling in, and of course supporting the channel also supports me, which I would greatly appreciate your support, and it would go towards many good things, and it would also help me out in the long run too. Not to be constantly asking for money here, but honestly, your support would honestly help me incredibly right now, as my insurance for my home actually declined to cover a weather-related incident, and so now I'm having to pay out of pocket to replace damaged drywall and insulation and have the bathroom repainted where the leak had happened. So if you want to help me fight the brunt of a $4,000 claim that should have been covered by my insurance, that'd be greatly appreciated. I don't really like asking for money, but I'm going to go ahead and ask for it at the forefront because I don't really do it too often, and my supporters have twisted my arm to do so anyway. So their idea, not mine. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the podcast, and let's talk all things Lil Kink Boutique. So I have the owners of Lil Kink Boutique on the line with Skype. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing good.
Awesome. So I have a couple of questions for you guys, so hopefully you don't mind me going ham with the questions. My first one is, when you first started Lil Kink Boutique, what I guess was your inspiration to start it? Like, what was your down heart feeling of why you wanted to start up not a podcast? Jesus, I'm so flummoxed. I'm excited. Forgive me. But what's made you the idea? Like, what inspired you to start up a shop and to create these really awesome products that the HB community now has been enjoying for many, many years now?
Well, we've been in the community for a little over 5 years now, and we met somebody who wanted to know why there was no companies out there that had plus size clothing that was reasonably priced, because everything was just so expensive. And I thought about it, and I'm like, that sounds like something I would probably enjoy doing. The problem was I didn't know how to sew. So I taught myself how to sew, and I started off real small. I just really enjoy bringing something to someone that they can't find in other places and helping them find their little self inside. I've had so many people thank me for having plus size clothing and not charging more because it's a 3X or a 4X or so on. we don't do this for the money. We do this because we want to bring happiness to people and help them find a little piece of themselves. And that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to start this company.
Awesome. We've talked before about why you started, and that is literally almost word for word what you said to me so many years ago. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I love promoting you so much, because it's really, I'm really picky when it comes to making videos for people and stuff like that. But it's so effortless from me because I don't have to one worry about overselling you, and two, I love supporting what you do, and I love that your answer that I asked you so many years ago hasn't changed, and I just think that's really, really special and really, really amazing. Like, just listening to you say all that literally just made my heart bubble up with just all these good feelings, mushy gushy good feelings that just are, it's just wonderful. And what I see in your products and stuff like that is literally what you just said, just in a more physical form. So we all have our favorite things that we like to do and we like to make. What are some of your favorite things that you have made or that you have designed that has gone into your shop?
Well, I really enjoy right now making my deluxe pacifiers, putting the little beads and gems on them and basically making it into art. I just really love doing that, and it's very therapeutic for me too. So that's my number one right now that I really enjoy making. I do enjoy making my large rattles, which I haven't made in a little over a year because I've just been so busy working with everything else. But right now it's the pacifiers. I really enjoy making those.
Whenever you sit down and say, "Hey, I'm going to make a pacifier," do you sit down and make two or three, or is it just one where you just you pick? I guess I don't really know much about it other than you have like a beads and a center point and stuff like that. But do you like pick a character that you want to like really bring out the pacifier with, or it's just whatever your imagination takes you with or takes you to, I guess?
It's kind of both. It really depends on why I'm making something. Right now, I had to start prepping a lot of stuff for Capcom. So I've spent the last month making the pacifiers, the deluxe pacifiers for that. And usually when I make something like that, I make a lot. I've made 110 in the last month.
Wow.
And I'm spending about 6 to 8 hours a day, 7 days a week making them. But I really enjoy it. And I usually I'll do all of a certain color scheme for one day. Like I'll do all the pink and purple combos for one day because it makes it easier because I know my designs will be of those colors and it'll just kind of come to me. I usually don't even put the centerpiece on. I don't put the center part until I've made the actual whole pacifier and I see what fits perfectly with what I've designed. And sometimes I don't want to sell them. I want to keep them. Even though I don't use them, I want to keep them because they're so cute.
Yeah, I was going to ask you too. Like, whenever you make one, you're like, maybe I should just, put this away. But I totally feel you on that.
It's kind of a good thing that I don't use pacifiers because I'd probably have like hundreds of them because I wouldn't get rid of any of them because I love making them. It's almost like a piece of art that I've made. But then I also know there's a little out there who's just going to be so excited to receive that, and that's one of the things too that kind of makes it fun to make. So I know somebody out there is going to want this.
So whenever you get a pacifier order in, do you immediately jump on it? Like, what is your process of elimination whenever, like, say you get orders in? Like for example, at Cap, whenever people do their pre-orders or anything like that, do you do the pacifiers first? Like, say if someone has a more complex, or like, I want this overall set or this PJ set. What do you normally like go after first whenever, I guess, you see, because obviously pacifiers being one of your favorite things to make, but do you kind of procrastinate, I guess, like, oh, I want to do this now, but or do I save it for later? The more fun for later, I guess, what I'm asking.
Well, I used to make custom things for people, and because I suffer from anxiety, I can't do custom stuff that's being ordered. That's why I make a lot of my stuff. I make it and then I post it to sell it, because then there's no pressure for me to hurry up and make it.
Right.
So I really don't do custom things like that anymore, just because of the pressure. Because I do feel like, oh, I have to stop what I'm doing and do this order now. And sometimes with the fact that I'm doing most of this store by myself, it's a lot of work. And to stop everything to make a custom order, I can't really do that anymore without freaking out and having a panic attack. So I really don't do customs anymore just because of that.
Don't have a panic attack. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. I tried my hardest and to make everybody happy, and it was draining me so much that I decided I can't do it. If someone goes, hey, can you make the custom pacifier? I said, I can't, but give me an idea of what you're looking for, and then I can make what my version of it. And if you like it, you like it, and then you can buy it. Otherwise, it's at least no pressure to hurry up and make it.
Gotcha. So this year, transitioning, so this year at CAP, how many years now have you been vending at CAP?
This will be our 5th year.
Oh, wow. It'll be my 5th year too, but not vending, just playing and stuff. So are you, with this will be CAP's 10th anniversary convention, and, for the last handful of years, CAP has been at the same venue. And one of the things I'm kind of excited for is just seeing the new venue and exploring it. I'm also excited because from what I've seen of it, it's definitely bigger. What can the littles who are attending CAP this year expect from what you're bringing this year, as far as your selection that you plan on packing and bringing to CAP?
Well, we have a lot of new products. We're doing new designs where they're 2-piece outfits. I'm really trying to focus on what I call like the toddler type of style of clothing. There's just not enough out there, or middles type of clothing. So I have quite a few new outfits that I will be bringing that have not even been put on the website yet. A lot have to do with Easter. And I'm really excited about that. The only issue we're going to have is we're very, very limited on overstock that we can bring with us, since we are driving halfway across the country in a U-Haul. So I'm really pushing people to pre-order stuff, because there's just not going to be enough room to have a lot of overstock. But there's going to be a lot of really cute new stuff.
So for your pre-order, for those of you who haven't visited your social media or website recently, what is the process of someone pre-ordering something for them to bring with you to CAP?
You basically go to our website, Lil Kink Boutique, or littlekink.com, and you place an order as if you're going to place an order to be shipped, but you choose for the shipping option, pick up at CapCon.
Okay.
And then what I do is I take it, and I fill the order, and I put it in a bin, and it has your order number and your email address on it. And when you come to my booth and say, I placed an order, here's the information, I have it for you, because we're not bringing any of our clearance items. So if there's something on clearance that you want, you need a pre-order. And even the stuff we are bringing, we're only bringing maybe 2 to 3 of that item in each size, and that's not a lot of stuff. So if there's something you really, really want, I recommend pre-ordering it. Plus, right now, all the way until CapCon, we are doing a clearance on our clearance section, an extra 30% off when you use clearance 30 with a capital C at checkout. And you can take advantage of that and take advantage of promoter codes as well for regular items as well.
Very cool.
Which you can't do at CapCon. So it's saving you money, plus you're guaranteed to have that item when you get there.
Pay no attention to me. Keep talking.
I can't help it. It's
From a selection standpoint, we're probably only, I would say we're only bringing like 25% of probably everything that's listed on the website, because that's really all that we can cram inside a cargo van and an SUV just to get us there.
well, even just the space we're limited on having overstock, because people, I don't know if they understand, overstock takes up a lot of room. So you have to have that room to put that stuff, and we won't have a lot of room to have overstock because we want to have stuff out on the floor, and we don't want to take that up by having overstock take up that space.
Yeah, so there's selection, there's quantity, and then we've got 9 sizes of each item, and then multiply that times, if there's going to be 3 of each size that we have to have times everything. It's a lot of stuff.
We carry extra small all the way through 5X for a lot of our items. So overstock is very limited, because when you're bringing 2 or 3 of each outfit and you have 9 sizes, that takes up a lot of space.
I bet.
So we highly recommend pre-ordering so that you're guaranteed to get the item that you want. And if it happens to not fit and we have it there, you can exchange it when you're there. Or if you're not sure what size you want, please message us. Send us an email from our website, and I'm more than willing to help you try to narrow down what size you need.
That's awesome. So we have a really good question from Lee Howard in the chat, and he was wanting to know, what was the very first item you ever made for your website?
Pacifier clips was one of the first things I made. I hand sewn all of them. My first CapCon, I stood behind our booth table for 12 hours every day, hand stitching pacifier clips.
I've seen it. She does.
I was exhausted. But it was pacifier clips. That was the first thing I made. And then I started with bottle cap jewelry, and it kind of exploded from there.
Awesome. As far as other things that LKB sells, other than outfits and stuff like that, you mentioned jewelry and bracelets. What is one of the things that at Cap that always seems to just sell out, and you just it's just gone before you know it?
I'm going to have to say the deluxe custom pacifiers. Those sell out really fast because they're one of a kind. No one else is going to ever have that one because they're so unique. Those sell out pretty fast. Trying to think what else. What else do you think sells the most?
I mean, from my experience from a previous convention, I may have wiped you out of Gibbet's bracelets one time or another.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wish we could bring our whole display of those like we used to be able to. This year we will have some, but they're going to be like in a bin pre-made, which kind of, it's still fun because there's different ones in there, but it's more fun when you get to actually select each gibbet that you want to put on there. That I like having that option for everybody, but because we're limited on space, we're just going to pre-make a bunch of them and bring them. So we will have some.
The Pinky Buddies and the teethers.
Oh yeah, teethers. We have these chewy teethers that are like different animals, and they come on a clip that's also chewable. Those have been a new product for I think the last 2 years, and they sell out pretty fast too. Certain ones like dinosaurs and things like that.
Game Boys.
Oh,
yes,
yeah, Game Boy
I was going to
one.
mention the Game Boy because I saw my friend Mew had one of those. Like, where did you get that? And he's like, I got it from the Lil Kink Boutique. I'm like, and you guys were out of them last year, and I was sad.
We have some for this year, but we also have a new one which we're really excited about. We have a is it Stitch? Yeah, we have a Stitch one.
There is a Stitch.
We have Stitch, believe it or not.
So what you're saying is it's gonna match this outfit, which by the way you guys made.
Yep.
So that's awesome. So I have another question from the chat. Pokey My Pocket asks, how does shipping work as far as shipping all over the United States?
Well, we, depending on what the items are, we do first class and priority mail, and We try to combine items because it's shipped by the true combined weight. So depending on what the items are and how heavy they are, they'll either go first class or priority. It shows that all before you check out. And like, for example, right now we're having the 30% off clearance, but then we also have promoter codes out there where people get 10% off. And some people are like, well, I want regular priced items, but then I also want clearance items. I recommend placing 2 orders. One, use the clearance code. And second one, use the promoter code. And then message me or put in notes, can you combine these orders? And then I'll refund you the difference of the shipping. I try to save as much money for everybody as possible. I do not try to gouge anybody. I only charge 50 cents handling, which basically pays for my printing paper, my labels, my packaging. So I try to save as much as I can. We do ship worldwide as well. The post office was nice enough to raise the rates again. So it's getting kind of expensive. And I'm trying my best to find the cheapest way I can to ship stuff. But it's not easy.
Yeah, because shipping is crazy. You know, every carrier has their own different rates, and it doesn't help that that not everyone is singing off the same hymn in order, you know, for a universal of shipping of just whatever product you're mailing. So recently I saw that you guys had launched a couple of new onesies with designs on them. You care to tell us a little bit about those?
Which ones?
They were...
I end up doing a lot of things.
I saw them on Instagram last night. I meant to ask about them, but they were the Valentine two-piece, looks like it's a shirt with fruffle bottoms on it.
Okay.
And then another one with the purple candy hearts, which I thought was cute.
Yeah, the purple candy heart suspender skirt is one of our what I call middle lines, though anybody can wear it. I'm trying to have something for almost all the holidays. I'm trying to keep a couple around year round. We have the 2-piece, what's it called? Little Valentine dress and short sets.
There's the cow.
Well, that one's not listed yet. That's one of the surprises for. Yeah, you're telling people about products that are going to be at Capcom.
Okay, don't talk about that.
I really like the suspender dress skirt things. They're very comfortable. I happen to have a couple myself. I'm trying to stop myself from buying so many new prints because they're just so darn cute. And Daddy keeps yelling at me that I have too much stock. He's like, you have to stop buying so much. But I love coming up with different designs and ideas, and I can't help it. It's addicting.
Next to making the deluxe custom pacifiers, I think that's the second.
That is my second
most fulfilling thing for you.
It is. It is coming up with things. When I have people go, can you please have stuff that's more authentic to being little? I'm tired of just all these onesies. Everybody has onesies. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try my best to try to come up with things that's not just onesies. And that's what I've been trying to explore this last year is different things like short-alls, 2-piece outfits, even I came out with what I call back to the 80s type of kitty cat. It's a short outfit, but it has a little skirt on it, just to try to do something a little bit different. And I think everybody liked it. It's doing pretty well, so I might come out with a few more.
One thing I saw on your store that I was like super excited for was that you're coming out now with matching bottoms for onesies and stuff like that, which I think is really, really cool. But I love how you always like to add matching pieces because, you know, I'm sure there are a lot of other littles out there like me who like to just match, you know, like, you know, I want this to be the same pattern as the top and bottom. Like, you know, like on one of the things you came out with, you have matching mittens, bib and of course the pants and stuff like that, or the shorts rather. Are you guys going to continue like doing matching lines like that, where you have a top and bottom as far as like like onesies or shirts or skirts and dresses and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably keep doing that. Not with all my new prints, but I will be trying my best to. And if a print actually goes, like I'm gonna discontinue, like say there's a onesie. I just actually sold the last Trash Panda onesie, and
Oh
that was a
wow.
discontinued item. And somebody messaged me saying, please bring back the Trash Panda print. Well, I am going to. In the fall, I'm gonna bring it back as a long sleeve since we had a short sleeve.
Very cool.
So um, I do like the idea of having the shorts because not everybody wants to wear, well, from what I've seen, not everybody wants to wear a onesie. They take their onesie and they unsnap it and turn it into a shirt. And I'm like, well, why don't I do shirts too? That way you don't have to unsnap it, unfold it up or whatever. And then the shorts was kind of like, you want to sometimes not wear a onesie, you just want to wear shorts and with a shirt. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. But probably won't be all our new prints. It will be selective of which ones, just because I have so much stock and I only have so much room to keep everything.
Uh,
But yeah, we'll be keeping that up.
So speaking of prints, a couple of folks in the chat are asking as far as your prints, as far as different styles of prints, with licensed characters and generic prints. Do you stock more than just the prints that you advertise?
Um, I have I have a couple ways of how I get my prints. One, I have a couple artists that submit prints to me that we have a working relationship with. Um, and then I also buy the licensing for a lot of my prints. Now, when you're talking about licensing as far as characters like Disney or Nickelodeon, you can't really have those prints made because of the licensing. I know I've had some issues with people complaining about our new little tea party print that um, we just had made recently. They're saying it's like Alice in Wonderland from Disney, even though it's not. It's from Alice's Adventures of Wonderland.
Right.
I've had a lot of people complaining about that, and we did do our research on that to make sure that it was, what's it called? Where free domain? I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, public domain are coming from something that hasn't been trademarked, copyright. Typically more of the novels, books, and things which don't have the same guidelines and copyrights that something like Disney has. They put on there.
Yeah, we were actually very specific on that print. I've actually asked the artist to change the coloring of the cat that was in that print because it was too close to the Disney one. So we were very nitpicky about it because I can't, and I would love to, because I know some people out there really, really want to have their favorite character on onesies or dresses, and I can't legally do that.
Right. Understandable.
But if
Totally
they want to buy
understandable.
something, that's plain, I had somebody buy one of my romper dresses that was plain, and they ironed on something on the front themselves, and they're more than welcome to do that, or sew on a patch or something.
Totally. So say for example that at Cap, say that for as far as, because people are asking about a lot of custom things in the chat. So as far as like say someone comes to say, hey, I would really love X print for a clip for my pacifier, and they just happen to find that, are you still going to be sewing clips at CapCon for pacifiers and or for your teethers?
Yeah, we are going to be doing the custom pacifier clips at CapCon, as well as some of the pacifiers that I make. Certain ones need to be pre-ordered if you want them made. Any of the ones that have where it says like mommy's boy or things like that I have on the website. Those have to be pre-ordered just because they take like 2 days to make, and I really don't have that time in Chicago to do that.
Right.
But we will be doing I have, I think, over 2,000 different kinds of ribbon that I can make into pacifier clips. And that the ribbon I did buy, and it's okay for me to make something out of it to sell. That is okay. And if someone gives me fabric to make something, if, say, for example, they wanted a bib or a Stuffy and Me bib made, and they give me the fabric to make it, that is okay as well. I just can't mass produce things.
Understandable. So that's one of the things that I love from your shop is the Stuffy and Me bibs. Like, you know, whenever those came out and you had sent me a set, I want to say a year and a half ago or maybe 2 years ago or so, that's one thing I've always liked, that you also think of your Stuffies. And I remember at TC, I want to say, where I saw your bear that had a similar outfit to what you had on that day, and it was a, you know, a bib and stuff like that. I've always been curious, like what gave you that idea to like, I have a bib, let me get my Stuffy a matching bib, and how that come up with you? Were you eating? Were you like, you know, just because I mean, from everything I've seen you make and from what you sell, I mean, you have a fantastic imagination, and I absolutely love that about you. And so how did that idea pop into your head, and what made you, you know, put fabric to the machine, so this is going to be a thing?
That I actually have to give credit to one of my friends. He wanted me to make a bib that would match his bib for his Stuffy. And I said, this is a great idea. If he wanted something like that, I'm sure others out there want something like this. So I started making those. And then last year, we started doing, can't think of what the name of the dolls are. I think they're like American Girl dolls, the 18-inch dolls. We started making dresses that matched the clothing that I sold, so that your doll could also match you. And I don't think many people know this, but I have 3 prints right now that are available to fit your stuffed animal that match 3 prints that we have on our shirt line, but also our onesie line. They're going to be under the doll listing on our website. And we're going to have those at CapCon as well. I was trying to see how well those do, to see if it was worth keep making them or not. But because I've had people go, oh, these are really cute, and I like the fact that you have these cute little doll dresses, but I want one that will fit my Stuffy. So that's why I went ahead and had some shirts made so that they can put it on their Stuffy to match.
Gotcha. So with matching clothes, Baby Doll asks, as far as your sizings go, I know you mentioned earlier sizings, but for those of you who missed it, what sizes do, for example, like your short dolls or dresses range from?
Well, depends on the fabric it's made of also, because certain fabric is more stretchier than others. But most of our products we just started doing extra small, and some of the prints we go up to a 5X. We don't do everything in those 2 sizes just because it's very rare and far between that people are those sizes. But I wanted to have some things to offer. So we do have a couple prints that go up to the 5X and the extra small.
Okay.
But almost everything we have is extra small to 3 or 4X. But you have to keep in mind, all fabric is different. And I was working with 3 manufacturers for things, and I gave them all the same specs of what I wanted, and they all came different. even though I told them each, these are the sizes I want. So every single item that we list on our website, I have to measure every single size of that item by hand for the measurements. So I always recommend look at the measurements for every item that you're looking at to buy, because they will be different depending on which one of my manufacturers made it, what the item is made out of. And if you're not sure, please send me a message and I will try my best to help you find the right size.
And on some of your stuff too, don't you have a sizing chart for some of your things on your website?
In every single description of an item that's clothing, there is a size chart. And like I said, every single one of those items, I hand measured myself with a measuring tape and wrote everything down. So please, if you're not sure, message me and I will try to help you, because just because, say, a romper dress is an extra large, but then you got a onesie and it's an extra large and you get them, the romper dress most likely will be bigger than the onesie, because my manufacturer who makes my romper dresses makes them different than my onesie manufacturer.
But as far as you would say, you said everything's made differently. For some of your stuff, like say something that's made of a mix of different fibers, would you encourage people to allow for shrinkage?
Cotton, if it's made out of cotton, I would say yes. But the polyester that we have, it's not going to really shrink. It's not going to shrink. So if you get a size too big, it's going to be big. I recommend going down a size when it comes to the polyester. If you're not sure, again, let me know. But a lot of our items run large.
Awesome. So another, I missed the question, but I saved it while you were telling us all that useful information. As far as bottles and stuff like that go, I know at the last couple of caps and conventions I've seen you at, you've always had different bottles with prints and stuff on them. Are you going to be bringing any of those things this year at CAP?
We are actually discontinuing our glass bottles that have prints on them. The manufacturer I was working with, I can't work with them anymore. So those are going to be those are discontinued. So I will not be bringing those because they are on clearance. I will have some form of bottles with me at CapCon. I have not decided which ones I'm bringing with me yet, but we have a ton of bottles on our website, and some have handles, some don't. You can choose from the adult tea to a sippy one to a baby one. We try to give all options. So if you want something particular like that, I would definitely order it on the website or pre-order it for CAP.
Right on.
Because I don't know what I'm bringing. I just know I'm not bringing the glass bottles.
Okay. I imagine that those are really tricky to transport too, with them being glass. Yeah. At least with plastic, if it falls, it's just a quick, of noises. But with glass, it's like, well,
yeah.
crap.
It's not easy traveling with glass items, I'll tell you that.
Okay, so here is a really, really good question for you. And as far as the name Lil Kink Boutique, how did you come up with that? And when you designed the logo and just how you wanted your shop to look and feel, what was your thought process, and just what when you were experimenting with names, what were some of the ideas that you had for a name and until you landed on Lil Kink Boutique?
Well, it's kind of funny because I really didn't come up with names. I came up with that name right away. And I thought of that one because Daddy and I have a DGLG relationship, but we also are into the BDSM. So I'm a little, but I'm also a little kinky. So the Lil Kink, there's a lot of people out there who are both. There's some who are littles, some who are into kink. So that name just kind of felt right. So that's how I came up with the name, is Lil Kink Boutique. It's like, you're a little kinky. The logo, my daddy can explain it better because I get tongue twisted every time I try to explain what my logo means.
You mean with the puzzle?
Yes, so what the puzzle piece means.
We look at it as we're just helping people find where they fit in. Part of what our website does, because this particular lifestyle can be frowned upon and people aren't so open to bring it out in public spaces. What we're hoping to do is to allow someone to express themselves and to in essence complete that entire piece, that entire puzzle that consists of them by adding in one or two of the items that we have. It makes them whole.
Well, it helps them.
That's the puzzle piece.
I don't think we make them whole, but it's
yes, the items.
No, that's not what I meant. I meant they don't have to buy our stuff to feel whole. All I'm saying is we help them find that peace in themselves. That's what that stands for. You're such a goofball.
Well, I was gonna chime in and say, I want to say in one of my previous Lil Kink Boutique weeks that I've done for you guys, or months rather, I want to say that I use this phrasing of, the clothing makes you look the way you feel. Whenever I stand in front of a mirror wearing this, one of the many outfits I have from you guys, and look in the mirror, I feel free. I feel happy. I feel like that I'm safe and stuff like that. And to me, that's what I've always said and what I've always thought. When it comes to your stuff, at least, is it makes me look the way I feel. So I kind of got what your daddy was saying. Great minds think alike.
I've had a lot of people message me and thank me for having items that help them find their themselves. And I've had people who never bought anything before or never expressed themselves as little, and they put on an item and they cried because they actually felt cute and little. And I mean, I've gotten people writing me letters, like actual snail mail letters thanking me, and I'm like, wow, they took the time to write me. It almost makes me want to cry that I was able to help them find that piece of them. And that's why I do what I do, because I love when I can help someone feel special. And that's why I do this, because I want people to feel special and I want them to be able to accept themselves and know other people out there do as well, and to feel safe, if that makes any sense.
It does. It makes a great deal of sense. You bring up a really good question that popped in my head. Whenever you got that first letter, what was your initial reaction? Were you blown away? Were you like, was this addressed right? Tell me a little bit about that.
To be honest, I was terrified and scared because we run our business from our home and we have children who live here with us. And I'm like, oh my God, someone knows where I live. And they sent me mail and they live in the same state as I do. It scared me at first, but they're a repeat customer. They've sent me multiple letters over the last 6 or so on months. And I realized, the first initial reaction was like, oh my God. And I got scared, but I'm like, you know what? It's something sweet and innocent. It was just them thanking me. It wasn't anything bad, but that was my first reaction. It freaked me out. And then I'm like, okay, calm down now. Because first thought was of my kids. And I'm like, that's not right. And their safety and everything, but it's okay now. And I'm like, well, usually I get it in on Instagram in a DM or through emails, but that one coming to my house kind of scared me. That was my first reaction, was terrifying. But then I had this huge smile on my face after I read the letter. And I was so touched that they took the time to write me and wanted to thank me. And they put little stickers all over it too, which was so cute. And it just melted my heart once I got over the first initial shock.
Do you save your letters?
Yes, I do. And actually, when I get them in email form, I save them. I don't go throw them in the trash or anything. I save all that.
That's really sweet. That's like some Hallmark stuff right there, but way better. So for CAP this year, I know I've asked this every year, but with this being CAP's 10-year anniversary, and you've done a great deal for CAP and for everyone attending, as far as providing them fantastic clothing and items and stuff that just fits people's personality so well. The biggest question I have for you is, are you going to go play this year for once?
Oh my God,
I've been asking for years, and I know
I so badly want to. And last year we had brought our adult son to help us, and he actually had time to go run and go play with Legos, and he had a great time. But because I'm kind of the face of the company, I can't really leave my booth because so many people want to come up and talk to me or share ideas, and I don't want to disappoint them by not being there. And that's why I really, really push myself to go to these conventions, is because I don't want to disappoint people. I want them to be able to talk to me if they want to talk to me, share an idea. If they have a question or anything like that, I want to be able to be there for them. So it's like I kind of want to go play and have fun, but at the same time, I feel like, and we have enough helpers this year that I could probably get away for a little while, but I don't want to disappoint somebody if they come. And Daddy goes, well, they can come back. I'm like, but what if they don't? That was their one time they could come talk to me. And I'm going to try. I'm going to try, Zach, real hard.
Well, the best place. Go ahead.
I'm bringing my friend with me, and this will be her first time being at CapCon. So we might sneak away for a little while if I can get a couple other my other friends to maybe help Daddy so he's not drowning by himself at our booth.
Wow.
And try to sneak away for a little while. Because this is a new hotel, and I don't know what the setup is going to be like. So I would like to go walk around and see how everything is and what's going on. And I'm just as curious as everybody else of what it's going to look like.
Right. Well, I was going to say the best place to exchange ideas and to have a great conversation would be to, jump in a ball pit and say, oh, hey, by the way, I love your stuff. Here's an idea, or, whatever, or, going ham, on the trikes, and if people really miss you, just pull a Wayne Gretzky and just have a cardboard cutout of yourself, next to your booth and have it like animated, like, hi, thanks for coming. Bye.
I can, like I said, I'm going to try. I've been trying to get better with, when we go to TeddyCon, to kind of sneak away for a little while. The problem I find is that when I go do stuff like that, I really want Daddy with me.
Right.
And we both cannot be away from the booth. One of us needs to be there because the other people who are bringing to help us don't know what we know. So it's kind of hard to leave them in charge. It'll be total chaos if we did that.
Just tag in and out, Like, I've had enough. It's your turn. No,
yeah.
I kid. Do you have any plans, like, as far as, like, laying out your booth? I notice every year your booth is a little bit different from the last year. Is that just based upon need of the space, or do you, like, draw out, like, a planogram, to best display all your wonderful things?
Well, the space we get is the space that we basically get. I try every year to get more and more space, but I'm not always lucky to get as much as I want. They tell us how much space we have and show us a diagram, and then Daddy takes it upon himself to do a diagram of where we're going to put racks, where we're going to do checkout, to give us an idea when we get there what to do, but also how much we could bring with us. I'll tell you right now, there's never going to be enough space. You saw the one year where I had half the room. I could have used another half if I really wanted to. I'm never going to have enough space, but I will take what I can get, and we will make it work. The only thing that so far we haven't figured out is about a changing room for people to change, to try outfits on and things like that. Still trying to work that one out. Haven't figured out yet what to do.
I mean, you could always kind of borrow from Cap and, do like a little pipe and drape upright, with...
Yeah, but that takes space that we could be having stuff displayed. So...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
It's hard to try to... At least this time we know what space we're getting, and basically... like we have a wall so we can put tables up against it and things like that. That really helps us. I remember our first year, we had no idea what kind of space we were going to have, how we were going to do it. It made it very hard to figure out what to do, especially with us driving, 1,500 miles?
Yep.
You need to know how big of a truck to bring, that kind of stuff. But now we have a lot more. This is our 5th year. We are becoming old pros at this. We know kind of what to do and what to bring, what not to bring. Well, that's not true. You never know what to bring. When you think something's going to sell, it doesn't. And then things that you should have brought more of, you don't. It's you never know.
So from your first year at Cap up until now, have you noticed an influx of people wearing your apparel? Like, say, the first year, maybe one person, two people. The third year, 50, 100 people. What feeling that comes to mind, and what do you feel in general when you see people that are obviously, rocking LKB apparel, and how does that make you feel?
Oh my God. I get such a huge smile on my face, and this feeling inside that just, I feel like I'm glowing. And especially when I know it's something that we didn't bring with us. So that means they ordered it somewhere, like from online, or got it somewhere else. And I'll tease them too. I'll go up to them and go, I know where you got that from. And they're just kind of like, they smile at me. And it just melts my heart when I see someone wearing something that either I've made, or that we sell, or that I've designed. It's an overwhelming feeling, and I love it.
I can imagine so. I mean, not to what's the PG phrase I can use? It's not wildly inappropriate that won't earn me a spanking later. Not to blow smoke up your rear end, but that's why I always like to wear a certain number of outfits at Cap. Like this is a CapCon staple. My Thomas outfit is a CapCon staple, because I always get people ask me, where did you get that from? And I always get this little cheeky smile on my face, like, Lil Kink Boutique. I always love to tell people that, and like, what? No way! Or just like whenever I tell them, like, oh, okay, cool, I'll go talk to them, and so. I definitely like pointing people in your direction. That's that's why I love promoting for you guys. Your stuff is always in the description of my videos, and I just feel reoccurring. I guess my whole thing with this question is, or with the statement rather, is I love what you guys do, and I think what you guys are doing for the community is absolutely fantastic, and I think you guys have given a lot to the community as far as bringing, very stylish clothing. I mean, this is stuff, in my most humblest opinion, that if little clothing were to be, 100% mainstream, where people are walking around wearing, stuff like this in public, where it was a widely accepted thing, this would be stuff that you would think you would see at like Belk or JCPenney or something like that in their in their adult baby section, if such thing ever existed. anyways, I'm gushing here, but I just love what you guys do, and I'm sure all the folks you see at CAP equally love what you guys do, and I think we have time for a few more questions from our chat. So if you guys want to submit a question real quick for the lovely folks at Lil Kink Boutique, be sure and comment it now. So for CAP, you two, what are some of your goals this year for what you hope to accomplish as far as things that you want to do that you haven't done before at CAP, or as far as I know it has to be. We mentioned earlier, with moving stuff, like especially with glass products, stuff like that, it's kind of a pain. And you guys this year are bringing a U-Haul. Is that your first time doing that? Because as far as getting set up, how quickly do you guys want to get set up, and do you need help setting up and anything of that nature?
It's not our first time bringing a U-Haul.
Oh, it's not?
The first year was the first year was the only year we got away with bringing our car. After that, we had to bring our Suburban, and now that our Suburban basically died, the last 2 years we've been bringing an enterprise van, one of the big vans. This year we're going to take that, but also Daddy's SUV. He has a small SUV that we're going to probably end up taking, just because we're bringing 2 other people with us to help, because it's a lot of work for 2 people to try to do. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but it's just me and my daddy, and that's the only people who run this business, and it's a lot of work for 2 people, especially with us getting older. Just to get ready for this show, we're going to probably end up spending about 100 hours packing and inventorying everything to get it ready just to go to CapCon.
Oh, wow.
And then the drive there is about 14 hours. The setup is probably going to take about 10 hours or so. And that's with people helping us. And then breakdown will probably take breakdown is always easier. That only takes about maybe 4 to 5 hours. And then when we get back home, it takes us weeks, like 3 to 4 weeks, to do inventory on everything and to update the website for what's sold, plus unpack everything and put it away. And it's just Daddy and I. And he has a full-time job. So I don't know if people realize how much work goes into actually doing these shows. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. That's why we're recruiting our adult children to help us, because it's too much work for us. And they're willing to help us. We're going to take that help.
It's the least they can do.
Yeah. Our son, who's almost 20, will be coming with us this year to help us at CapCon. This will be his first convention, so it'll be interesting for him.
Yeah.
He's used to how we are, and that we have friends who are in the community, but he's never experienced anything like this. So I'm hoping that he can help us with the actual work at the booth and not be out playing the whole time we're there, because he might just go jump over into the room where the Legos are and just be playing Legos all day. If somebody tells him about the big wheels that are around, he's going to be gone doing that too. And I have to try to rope him back in and be like, no, you're here to help me work. You can play later.
That's when you run off and go play. See you later.
Our son last year, our other son, who's 22, he was helping us last year, and he took off and was playing in the Legos and was doing a Nerf gun war and all this stuff. And he was going to go this year, but we are expecting our first grandbaby in March, the end of March.
Oh, wow.
And it's his. So because her due date is so close, he's not going to be able to make it with us.
Oh.
So.
Well, congratulations to him and his wife.
Yeah. Girlfriend.
Well, either way.
But we have enough kids that we can get them to help us.
That's great.
Well, I say kids, but they're adults, so.
Big kids.
Big kids, yes.
I do greatly appreciate y'all taking the time out of y'all Sunday to come on the podcast. I greatly appreciate it. I know you guys are busy packing for camp, and I hope you guys have a easy time going packing up, and your journey isn't too long. I could not imagine driving 14 hours. Like I've made 8-hour trips, but 14 hours, that I imagine that your butt must have fallen off somewhere in between from home and cap.
Yeah, it's a long haul, especially when we're closing up and packing to leave. We pack up, and then the next morning we drive home, and then unpack everything, and then he has to go to work, and it's just, there's no time to decompress. And then I have orders from people buying on the website while I was gone that I have to fulfill, and it's nonstop craziness. But I can't stop. I love it too much. I love being around the people. I love being around my friends. That's the one thing I really, really want to try to do this year at CAP, is spend more time with my friends, even if it's them hanging out at the booth talking with me. I don't get to see a lot of my friends except this con, and I want to see them and spend time with them. So that's one thing I'm trying to make sure I have some time set aside for.
Those are good things to set aside time for. That way you can go ham, and I don't think I've ever seen you jump in the ball pit before. Maybe that's something you should try and do this year.
Not like that one. I did do I did that last year at TeddyCon, and I sunk to the bottom and couldn't get back out. And that was a little hard to try to swim your way through the ball pit to get out.
Oh yeah. Well, just do what I do. Just do a cannonball and just lay on top of somebody. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's bad. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this episode of the podcast. You guys are rock stars. I'm so glad that you were able to do this. Wanted to show you guys some love by introducing more and more folks to YouTube. And real quick, what are y'all's social media that you generally post your stuff on?
Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr, and it's all Lil Kink Boutique. But we're also on FetLife at Lil Kink Boutique. So you can pretty much find us anywhere.
Awesome.
Under Lil Kink Boutique.
And I'll be sure, and I have y'all's website linked in the description box below, but I'll be sure to link your description as well. That way, all the awesome folks who are tuning in and watching this later will be able to go follow you guys and show you guys some love in the near future. Alrighty, Boons, that's going to wrap up this episode of the Stay True and Stay You podcast. I hope you enjoyed that reproduction of the original podcast, the Playroom podcast from way back in the day. I wanted to repurpose this episode, as I did have to make the video private, as for some reason YouTube decided to copyright strike it with some royalty-free music that I had back in the day. Anyways, be sure and check out Lil Kink Boutique. You can find all their links in the description box below, as I said earlier. And of course, be sure and use my code ZaciRoo to save on your purchase on Lil Kink Boutique at checkout. And be sure and support the podcast by checking out our Subscribe Star and pledging your support there today, where you can gain rewards for early access voting on the next episode of the podcast and many other cool rewards. As always, guys, I hope you have a fantastic week. Be sure and stay true and stay you, and I will see you in the next episode of the Stay True and Stay You podcast. Until then, good night, Boons.